And then the WNBA, LA Sparks. And by the way, about to get a statue in front of the Staples Center.
Sounds crazy. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. This is so odd. Stop talking about me.
Okay.
Like, I don't know.
So,
ask me a question.
I want to know what the 7 Ps are all about, because we're talking about success and how you can have success in life, how you can have success in athletics. I think it starts with the 7 Ps.
It does. Okay, so the backstory is my mom was a single mom with my sisters and I in Compton, as he said. And my mom would always, she would go to church, and she would go to a church that would really be about positive affirmations, where she really learned about, what you speak into the universe, you get back. And so she would teach us as young kids that whatever you say, think about it before you say it, and what you speak into the universe can come true, right? So she had the 7 Ps, and the 7 Ps are proper, prior, preparation, prevents piss poor performance. And so we were like, what? So she would tell us about the 7 Ps, and the 7 Ps were basically, this thought that whatever you put into life, you're going to get out of it. So if you work hard and you do it right the first time, as we've always heard our parents say, do it right the first time or don't do it at all. But the 7 Ps really were something that my sisters and I tried to apply to life. If we wanted to get good grades, you had to study. And so having that idea of preparation, obviously it really helped me in a lot of areas, preparing for basketball, how much I practiced and what I put into practice, I was able to get out of it. Then I started to apply that obviously to school and pretty much anything that I do, the preparation. And then some people will say when they're around me, because I'll raise my hand and ask questions, because I need to know exactly what are we doing now? What do you expect of us? What are the expectations? So I have to be so prepared. So the 7 Ps have really helped me, and it was really from my mom, just helping my sisters and I to really understand how to prophesy, I think, over our lives and put out positive information, and to also control our thoughts, about what it is that we want and how we set goals and what we want out of life. And I came up with the thought somewhere beyond that. It was just sort of like, why not me? Like, just because I'm a girl from Compton and what my situation is, we all have a story, right? We all have a background of some parts of it that's very fortunate and other parts that can be misfortunate, but we don't have to be a product of what those problems are. We just got to move forward and find out what our purpose is. And so I'm very thankful to my mom for really conditioning myself and my sisters just to have this positive outlook on life. And I think with that, I have probably overachieved in a lot of things, but it's because of what I believe and how I try to profess what it is that I want to be and how I want to be a blessing to other people.
When you talk about being a leader and inspiring others, you were a pioneer in many ways. I mean, the WNBA started and you were one of the founding members. So you didn't really have, I know you give credit to a lot of people that came before you, and there were other people, but they were not the first in the WNBA and the first to do some of these things. So how did you, balance sort of that pressure of taking on the WNBA, having your face as the face of this league and succeeding in that manner?
I'm just a firm believer of how you treat people is really important. So I didn't necessarily ask for that position. It was sort of given to me. But I think it's all in how the relationships that I had with the people, how I carried myself with the president of the WNBA, the president of the NBA, but also the janitor and the people who cleaned our clothes. Like, we're all God's children, if that's where I come from and what I believe. So I don't treat those people any different. And I think through those relationships, people can really just see that it's just, in all honesty, probably it's partly I deserved. I worked hard for it. But the other part of it was that I think that's the blessings of what my goal is to use my spiritual gift, which is my ability to speak, to reach people. And so I wasn't sure what that platform was going to be. That was God's decision. And so for me to play basketball, I just knew when I was 7 years old, I would write my name all over everything. My mom would say, Lisa, why are you writing your name? And I'm like, because one day I'm going to give out autographs. And so he's like, well, who are you going to give autographs out to? My mom says, who are you going to give autographs out to? And I'm like, oh, I haven't decided who my audience is yet, but I know I'm going to give out autographs. So I feel like from my childhood and growing up, I wanted to be somebody. I think everybody as a kid, you wanted, maybe not everybody, but I kind of wanted to be on television. I kind of wanted to have some kind of platform. I wanted to be a role model, let's just say. And in that, I didn't know what that platform was going to be. Basketball sort of found me. Like I told you, I was not the girl sweating, playing sports as a little girl. I was on the sideline, but I feel like basketball was like, oh, I get it. Basketball is going to be that. That's it. That's what I got to go after it because that's what I'm supposed to do. And in going after it, I was never just a basketball player. You know, I've always been a person who liked to speak. I've always had the spiritual gift that I feel like I'm supposed to use, and I feel like the platform ended up being basketball. I feel like I would be successful in anything that I've done, be anything that I chose, because that's the way my mom raised me. You know, does that make sense? And so
manifesting your destiny.
Yeah, so basketball became that platform, and then with me having that platform, I recognized, okay, I'm not here just to play basketball. I'm here to be a role model. I'm here to be a role model for women, for young girls. I'm here to be a role model for girls that look like me, who never see women that look like me on television. And in that, I just happen to be, I think, a very feminine girl. I was a lipstick wearer, you know, all of those were like, what? You know, you put on makeup before you play? Yeah, I can control what I look like when I start. You know, by the time I get out there, it's going to be a hot mess by the time I'm done. But
you wear makeup at the gym now?
Yeah, a little. Okay. I mean, at least an eyeliner, some mascara, something. I mean, but that's just me being me, you know, and I've never tried to be someone else. And I think that
And you knew that right away. Like you knew yourself from the start, because that's hard for a lot of people to know who they are.
I think that's hard for a lot of people. We really forgot that we were men and women, and we were just playing until we would get to the media. Every time we get to the media, then it was like, so how is it for you? And I'm like, what? Coaching the men. I'm like, I don't know. It's no different. It's just, we speak the same language. We're talking basketball. It's X's and O's. The biggest difference is I just got to tell them before I would walk in the locker room, you know? Right? Because it's like, hey, I'm coming in, cover up. And then the restroom, because there's the locker is connected to the restrooms. And then I'm like, all right, fellas, I'm going to the bathroom. Hold off for a second. But aside from that, it was just basketball. I mean, it was just, I understand basketball very well. I have a very high IQ. And, you know, that's how you got to talk to the men. I have a high basketball IQ, and because I understand what I'm talking about, they understood what I was talking about. It was just really not, it was just basketball. And I over-prepared them, which was intentional, which meant that I watched video of the other teams a lot, and I understood the tendencies of the other players, and I made sure my players understood the tendencies. So, for example, we played a team, I forget which team it was. Well, I know which team it is. There were the Three-Headed Monsters, who was coached by Gary Payton, actually. And their players all pump fake before they shoot because they came off of injuries, right? So because they've come off injuries, they needed a pump fake to really gather their feet to get their jump shots off. So I explained this to my team. Listen, they have 6 guys. 3 guys have had Achilles injuries, so they need a pump fake before they shoot. You can understand me, right? This is just basketball. We had 7 fouls on pump fakes from the 3-point line.
They didn't listen.
So that has nothing to do with men and women. That's just hello. Tie out. I just told you that they have to pump fake because they're older and they have had surgery, so they need a pump fake to get their shot off. Why are we fouling them? We stopped fouling them. Joe hits a game winner, as he did. Big game James. You know, now what do you call it? ISO Joe hits the jumper, and we ended up winning. But it was like, hello, that's just the scouting report.
What was the difference for you in the feeling winning as a coach as opposed to winning a championship as a player?
Oh, that's a great question. You know what the biggest feeling is? I felt awful when we lost. I felt like the player, and I didn't realize it was the same for the coach, because that was my first time really coaching, that when you're a coach and your team loses, you feel the same like sick feeling. You know, I was really not a happy wife. or mom that whole week, and I had to apologize to my kids. I'm like, I'm sorry, just, you know what? I had an attitude all week. But I was trying to explain to them, like, Mommy didn't feel well. You know, you try to give people warnings, like, listen, I'm not really up to par this week because I lost, and I'm not, you know, my kids don't know me from when I was playing. You know, I hate losing. My husband knows, but my kids didn't know. So for them to experience it, I was apologizing. I just was, you know, short with them. And so anyway, we ended up winning. But we did lose that one game, and I was not happy. So that's the biggest difference. As a coach, when you lose, you have the same feeling you had as a player.
So pretty similar then in that respect. I mean, you felt like a player, like it hurt hard.
Well, I didn't know I was going to feel like that. I thought I'd be like, oh, it was you guys' fault. No. Get it together. No, I felt really, I didn't feel good. And I went back and I watched the game like 3 times. I swear I played. So it's that same kind of feeling. But when you're used to winning, I love to win in everything. Dominoes, backgammon, spades. I play all game. Poker. I'm really good. I'm a good spades partner.
Lisa, during your playing career, did you ever feel like you had to suppress your natural personality or charisma due to just the natural landscape and the social climate? And do you think with some recent developments and trying to empower women that they will be able to express themselves with their natural personality and charisma that will open up marketing opportunities and sponsorship deals for them?
Great question. I think for me, I've always been my authentic self. And the interesting thing is how time has changed, because back when I was playing, it was just, I was the one who was different, you know, whether it was, you know, having my hair done and wearing ribbons in my hair and wearing lipstick and having the shortest shorts on all the teams. You know, now the guys have their shorts tucked up. I'm like, really? I took so much flack for having the shortest shorts on the team. So I just think it's important to be yourself. I was very happy with myself. I've had many teammates from all different walks of life, from different countries, from different genders and, you know, sexual orientations and all that. And my thing is, you have to be you and let me be me. And we have to respect one another and find a happy medium and a ground for that. And I think that as long as you don't try to change me and have a problem with who I am, I don't have a problem with who you are. And that's the way of the world, I think. But it is interesting that now we're in a time, obviously I wasn't in a time of social media when I was playing, but I think I've always been really true to who I am, and that's probably, again, how I had so many opportunities from a marketing standpoint, from endorsements and things like that. So it's not like, you know, I had to just for a moment pretend that I was something that I was not.